is this a gotcha question?
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
I am of two minds when it comes to this clip. On one hand, I cannot help but be reminded of the 2015 poll where 30% of Republican voters said they would support bombing Agrabah. For those of you who don't know, Agrabah is the fictional city from the Disney movie Aladdin, which means the people answering yes must have known that they had no knowledge whatsoever about this country. Of course, other than it was vaguely Middle Eastern sounding and that someone somewhere must have thought it should be bombed. So on one hand, yes, if you want to bomb a place, you should know something about it. But on the other hand, and we're going to take a little detour for a second, Tucker Carlson was friendly with the late Christopher Hitchens, which is ironic because if Hitchens was still alive, I am very confident that he would despise Tucker Carlson. But I have a theory, and I have no way of proving this, but I think that this little moment between Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz was actually him trying to recreate a somewhat famous Hitchens moment. You see, way back when the United States entered the First Gulf War, Christopher Hitchens had a television debate with the famous actor Charlton Heston. Hitchens was against the US entering the war with Iraq, and Heston was in favor of it. And in an attempt to undermine Heston's support for the war, Hitchens asks him to name all of the countries that border Iraq. And, well, I'll let you guys see for yourself how that goes.
Let me ask a question to Mr. Heston. Can he tell me clockwise what countries have frontiers and borders with Iraq, starting from Kuwait?
Yes, indeed I can. Those borders are going to be very flexible, I think, and Iran and Iraq demonstrate that.
But
you can, let me come to.
It wouldn't take a minute.
Let me come to your comment. Kuwait, Bahrain, Turkey, Russia, Iran.
Exactly. You don't know where it is, in other words, do you? You have no idea where the country is on the map, and you're in favor of bombing it now rather than later.
So yeah, Charlton Heston was pretty far off there. Most egregious was of course naming Bahrain, which is literally an island. But what's interesting about this clip is that Hitchens later disavowed his position here. Not embarrassing Charlton Heston, he always remained quite proud of that, but he disavowed being opposed to the First Gulf War. Not only that, he became a very vociferous advocate of the invasion of Iraq, or what he called the liberation of Iraq. But my theory is that Tucker Carlson was trying to recreate that Hitchens moment during his interview with Ted Cruz. But while I do think the more you know about a place you're opining on, the better, whether or not you can regurgitate specific population figures or all the countries that border a nation, I don't think should necessarily be disqualified. Because in 2003, if somebody had asked Christopher Hitchens if he could name all the countries that border Iraq, I guarantee he could have done it. Does that mean he was right?